Let's lick tits.
Grab your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite. Conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. I'm your host, Kevin Shahan. I'm just kind of lost here because I started the show. I think all people heard was tits. And, and we were already live.
Spring!
So, Kerr Viajante, Stogie Road Cigars, my co-host. What's going on? It's my day off. I haven't had that many cigars today, Kerr. Only two cigars today.
You're watching the boy. You're watching your grandson.
Yeah, I was, for a hit and miss. So I need a cigar. What are you smoking?
Oh, this has been our favorites. We've been picking them up down at Noble Leaf. And it's made by our good friend. This is the Gurkha Revenant.
Oh, right on.
It's made by Artisa.
Yeah.
Such a great cigar. Your cigar is under $9.
Yeah.
Box press Toro. The thing's fantastic. It is one of the better Gurkhas I've smoked, and it's one of the most affordables. It's a fantastic cigar.
Oh, it's a great cigar. I love the Revenant. I'm smoking, which I just got a box in literally a couple hours ago, and I try not to smoke a cigar from a fresh box, especially when they just come in from UPS. But I am smoking a Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real Midnight Twist. This is actually on my cigar of the year list. I was out of them. I found a good deal on a website called Smokenza, Smokenza. Never heard of it. Found like they had a good deal on them. Found a coupon code, so I got like a whole bunch off on it. So because I don't buy a whole lot of cigars, so when I do, I gotta hunt around for the best coupon codes. Because Jessica doesn't always get me her smoke in employee discount.
I know.
So
I don't take advantage of that. I figured
because she doesn't work in the store, so it's kind of a pain to do that. If you're in the store, you just buy them and it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But from home, it's too much. So, and then none of my wholesalers that I saw carry this cigar, because I can get it for wholesale price. So found it on Smokenza.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to them and see if they'll give me like a coupon code or something for my followers. I love this cigar, so I'll reach out, see what they can do. So what's going on, Kerr? What's new?
Dude. Last week was pretty brutal. I mean, it was a long week. Second week with the puppies.
Yeah.
So the terrible twos has now been kind of terrible second week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, over the weekend, Greasy Bear, the black one, was being a dick. Oh my God, he was just bad. He was just it was like one of those things where he was just like, you could see the horns come out of his head.
Yeah.
And just wanted to just fuck with everything, fuck with everyone. Just was relentless in his assholery. And then, he kind of was calm and chill and had a good day today. I got some yard work done around the house. Like I said, went down, saw the guys down at Noble Leaf, and we got the guys at Sinistro are at the the bourbon barn down the road from us. So it was, not a bad day. The day could have been a hell of a lot worse based off the weekend. So I'm going to tell you this, Kevin. My Monday was better than my Saturday and my Sunday.
Oh, geez.
That should give you an idea. That's why I went through a whole long explanation. Today was better than my Sunday or my Saturday.
Oh, well, I worked yesterday, so I had today off, but I got off work a little early yesterday, and so allowed me to jumpstart on my Monday chores. So it's a nice, relaxing day. Didn't have a whole lot to do. I got a good nap in, a little 90-minute nap in this afternoon from 2 to 3:30. God, that was good little nap. But yeah. Other than that, just got a couple more 3D printing jobs, and I'll tell you what, I have made more profit this year in 3D printing than I did selling cigars last year and this year combined.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you know how that is. You sell cigars. There's people think you get rich selling cigars. You don't get rich selling cigars.
No, hell no.
But you can get rich 3D printing, so
well, that's why you got a print farm.
Yeah, so that's it's going good. So I got another couple big orders, or we got another big order from Crown Head. So yeah, it's going good.
Very good, man. Good for you.
Oh, thank you very much. So, but yeah, other than that, it's just been hot. This super El Nino is fucking kicking my ass,
dude. Horrible. It was. I don't mind hot weather, but I've got to tell you something, buddy. Yesterday, I was outside, and I was doing some pressure washing and doing all that stuff. And thank God I was pressure washing, getting wet, because it was so effing hot out. It was relentless.
Yeah, and what sucks down here, our parking lot is blacktop. So when we get these these mid-morning or mid-afternoon showers, and it's already steaming, 98 degrees, 100 degrees, and then it feels pretty good for like the 15-20 minutes it's raining, and then it stops raining, and then that blacktop starts evaporating that fucking water, and it's just the temperature doesn't go up, but it easily surpasses, or it's at 100% humidity, which is brutal.
I can't imagine, man, because I know what it's like you said, when that blacktop when the water hits it, it's terrible. It is terrible.
All right, Henry, these should be coming back. I have been working 6 days a week, including Sundays, since like November of last year. I think I only have 2 more Sundays to work. This new kid has been working out. We're going to give him Sundays by himself for a little bit. So that'll get me back 2 days off in a row, Sunday, Mondays, and I can get back to my regularly scheduled Tech Tip Sundays. I actually filmed 3 different Tech Tip Sundays, but they end up turning into rants. And because I have the other on the the Puff and Ponder, the Diary of a Mad Mechanic, where I kind of rant about some shit. These videos were so bad, I couldn't even post them on there. Like that was just really. They started as tech tips, and then I just started motherfucking everything. And then it's like, and I'm like, I'll post this as a rant, and then I'll go to edit it. I'm like, oh God. I can't post that.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's horrible. That'll get me fired. So and I'm already in the running for the President's Cup this year. They only picked 5 mechanics to take. There's always a big trip. That last year was Spain. This year's Costa Rica. So there's like 100 employees that go. They only pick like 5 technicians, the rest of them. So I've been kind of I don't need one of my videos coming up and be like, not the reason why I can't go to Costa Rica this year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Who's the guy who won this year? Well, hold on. Let me play you one of his videos.
Yeah, that's it. So, but yeah, so, but I did have, I was telling you in the Bullies chat, we had the tire rodeo. So, each district, which is a district of between 8 and 10 stores, is supposed to have a competition with one person from each store. And they have like a rodeo who can change a tire the fastest, but following a set guideline. I mean, extreme, like you know how it is. Corporate gets involved and be like, this is how you're supposed to change a tire, 13 steps. And like 6 of those steps, like, I've never done that in my life. It's like, that doesn't make sense at all. Like what, so I didn't even bother reading the rules because it's been 10 years since we've had one. And I was one of the runner-up winners in the last one. So the area manager, he couldn't find anybody. So a week before it was being held, he told my store manager, hey, tell Kevin he won the district, and because nobody else will wants to enter. So at the last minute, like 2 days prior, 3 days prior, like, hey, we got someone that wants to compete against you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I figured some young kid.
What's this young, arrogant new
that's
kid
it. Wants to go up against the GOAT. And so I spent a day practicing. I'm like, yeah, I got this. So his store manager and he comes over, 62-year-old man comes hobbling in the shop, and I'm like,
it's go time.
It's go time. And so yeah, it was it's a timed event, and then after 10 minutes, if you haven't, no matter how long it takes, they just put down 10 minutes. He never finished. And he was struggling with the procedure because it's not something that we do, and I handedly won. So now I've got one more I got like one more regional event, which has to be held before the end of the year. And then if I win that, I get to go to Nashville for the Nationals sometime next year.
You feel proud about that, Kev?
I don't, because it was supposed to be 2 rounds and the best of 2 rounds. Well, this guy knew, because they're like, hey, we're gonna go for round.
You're a ringer.
We're gonna go for round 2, and I looked at him. I go, you really want to go through this again? And he goes, no, I don't. I'm done. So
holy shit, Kevin.
Thank you for the comment on the lid. It's Herencia 21. That's owned by Miguel Shodel of Crown Head Cigars. Herencia 21. So what's going on? So yeah, it was he did not want to he didn't even stick around afterwards. He said thank you to everybody, and apparently had to get back to the nursing home before it fucking shut down for the night.
Dude, that is funny. It's like they threw you a ringer. They're like, you know what? We got to give some competition. Where's Ed?
Yeah. Who's the oldest guy? Who's the only guy that we have that's more broken than Kevin? With his shoulder, knee, back, and wrist. Like, yeah. Here's Ed. Ed, go get Ed. So,
listen, what's he saying, Seinfeld? He goes, it's go time. Listen, Mary.
Oh my God. So it was great. So
you think you're better than me?
Yeah. So I had to work a 12-hour day and then do that. So but yeah, so yeah, that's about it. So hopefully I'll get my Saturday or my Sunday, Mondays back, and I'll get back to a normal schedule, and just trying to cram everything in on one day, Monday. And then we got the show Monday nights, and then during the week, just trying to cram some stuff in. But we're going to be off the next 2 Mondays. I'm going on vacation. So
go on vacation?
Heading out to Colorado.
Oh, that's right. You guys are going up to Colorado, man.
Yeah, it was funny. I got a big order tonight. 3D print order from someone that had never bought anything from me, and it's going to take me a couple days to print it. And I'm like, where's this going? So, and I'm like, and I messaged the guy, I'm like, well, hey, if you'd you'd have got me this next week, I'd have been, I'll be 15 minutes away from where you live, and I'll be in Palmer Lake. He's like, what a small world. So yeah, it was
no
such
shit.
I'll be 15, 20 minutes from where I got to mail these out. So,
oh my God, man.
Yeah. So, we leave next Wednesday night. So I got a couple of days of prep to do, you know, closing down all the stores, putting them in vacation mode so nobody can order anything. And, yeah. And then my computer guy is supposed to come pick my computer up and figure out what's wrong with it. And then we're going to head off to Colorado. I've got we're going to get there. Oh, it's going to be late Wednesday night. So, you know, that's what sucks is we don't even have a full day of like get in, you know, on a morning and then have that day. So we don't get into like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. So, you know, then Thursday night, I'm doing Ryan's show Thursday night from his house. Friday night, I'm heading over to Dojo Studios. And then I'm not going to be on the show. They just have like a green room with like, it looks like they always have like a group of guys just smoking while the show's going on.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah. So I'm gonna head over there and just, you know, smoke with those guys and see what's going on. Saturday night, I got a whiskey and cigar event, that's going on with Ryan's friend.
You got you have a whiskey and cigar event?
Yeah. Or bourbon and cigars. Yeah.
Well, from what I understand, it's probably just going to be a Bacardi and cigar event.
Oh yeah, it was or just a you know, whatever mixers they got going on with the like just can I get that old fashioned without the bourbon? You know,
I get the old fashioned without the bourbon, without the bitters. And can you replace the bourbon and the bitters and the oranges and the cherries with Bacardi and Diet Coke?
Yeah. No, you can leave the cherries. I'm good with that. You know, the wine, whatever. You know, cherries. Yeah. I don't want to make it too difficult for you. So.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so I got the we'll have the days with the family and then the nights, you know, smoking the cigars. Jessica not too happy about that. So
why?
She's over there.
What's she not happy about?
Doing the cigar events. You know, I'm going on vacation.
She just wants to go on vacation.
Yeah, that's boring.
Well, then when you go on vacation, the whole idea is to freaking visit as many cigar shops as you can.
Yeah, actually, I'm not visiting any. I'm just, you know, hanging out.
Well, I mean, this
substitutes
that, but you know.
Oh yeah. So, yeah.
You guys just supposed to like go. She wants to go hiking since you're going to be there.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know, so we'll play that by ear. You know, the altitude. You know, I don't know. You know, I've never been that. You know, been that high before. So they say it's rough.
It is. Let me tell you something. I was in Denver and I spent a month in Denver. And I can tell you, I just got winded when we would walk from our rooms to our training rooms, which was a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
Dry nose, bloody nose. It was, I always kind of dismissed, if you will, the whole, you know, oh yeah, sure, you're gonna get tired, you're getting winded. Yet they're like, oh yeah, I heard stories from my buddies who were like, dude, I'm telling you, it's brutal. Sure as God made little green apples, man. It ain't easy.
Yeah, I'm not going in there and expect, you know, be like, oh, I'm a tough guy. I'll you know, like I'm a 50-year-old man, you know, so
it doesn't matter, dude, how tough you are. It's altitude, bro.
You know, that's it. I'm an old man, you know, that's used to the lowlands of Florida here, you know. So it's you know, it's like the people that come down to Florida and they're like, huh, how do you guys live down here? I'm like, I get used to it, you know. So I'm sure I'll be that way in Colorado. And
yeah, you're freaking altitude, and you're out the altitude in Florida. Your highest point is when you're on the roof.
Yeah, I know. So so hiking may be out of the question. We will play it by ear unless there is a small little trail. But what I'm most interested is because Steve Saka, you know, says, you know, it takes him a few days to for his palate to acclimate because he can't taste any cigars. So I'm interested in trying that. I am going to bring a bundle of cheap cigars just in case, I can't taste anything. Well, I'm like, well, I'm not smoking these, it's if I can't taste them. So
I'll tell you what, it has nothing to do with age. I mean, I'm sure age has, is an impact, but that's why professional sports teams, when they go there, they go early and they got to practice in that. Your body has to get acclimated. You see even more bottles of freaking oxygen alongside of the road. I mean, on the sidelines. I remember my buddies were telling me, they said, when we were younger, back in the what, I guess the late 80s, early 90s, dine and dashes were big, right? That was you dine and dash. You have to worry about cameras. You'd have to worry about freaking all that shit back in the day. Or you'd freaking go to a bar if you were out of town. You'd fucking run up a tab, and then because most places didn't even hold a credit card, and you just beat feet. These guys ran up a bar tab, and they left, and they heard somebody yell, "Hey, you didn't pay your tab!" And they took off running, and they said they got a half a block, and they were like, they were bending over, and they said the freaking bartender was like Michael Myers walking behind them because he knew that they were out from out of town, that there was no way they were going to get away.
Yeah.
So they're like, "All right, guys, are you done? You're going to come back and pay your tab?" He goes, "Yeah." So we went back and had to pay our tab. He goes, "But I thought we were going to fucking keel over." Half a block.
Yeah. I don't think we'll be too far from Pikes Peak, which takes you up even higher than where we'll be at. But I don't know. I'm excited, I've never been out to Colorado, so it'll be exciting to see where all of our friends live out there. Jessica's been out there once. She went out there where we're going to next week. She was out there
What?
a couple of thank you. A couple of years ago. I got my fan blown right in my face, and it's blowing my cigar smoke right back at me. She went out there. Yeah, she went out there for her friend's wedding a few years ago. So,
hey, which icon on the bottom is to invite someone? Is it the little guy with the plus next to it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just doing this because we're getting bad storms right now, and it's like thundering and lightning horribly. So I'm just basically lining this up and sending myself an invitation. So just in case I get disconnected, I'll just rejoin from my phone.
Oh, okay.
Thinking ahead. Thinking ahead.
So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Get away, get away from the heat. It's not going to be cold out there, and the evenings are going to be cold, pretty chilly, but the days are not too bad. I think in the mid to upper 80s, but not very much humidity. So it'll definitely be what they're considering as, warmer weather. For me, it'll be like a fucking cold break. Yeah. So, but yeah, we have, I have 0 things planned. Nothing. Just, we're kind of, told Jessica, whatever you want to do. Cause obviously I got the evenings to myself, doing some cigar stuff. So, I just want to relax. Not do anything.
Colorado's been in the 80s and in the 90s this week, but it's lows in the 60s. So
yeah, even in the 90s, that's definitely warm. Even without humidity, that's warm.
Oh hell yeah! So,
but yeah, so it'll be fun. We're taking the kids. It'll be the first. I think they've flown they were very, very young. So, I don't remember it. So this will be the first time they're really flying.
How they feeling about that? Any of them, any little anxiety?
I don't think so. Wyatt doesn't really know what to expect, so, we'll find out when he's on the plane, if we're going to need a couple of air sick bags or, just which I found a hack for, air sick or like motion sickness. They say, cause if you take medicine, it won't work. No, alcohol, but, an alcohol wipe, just break the package and sniff the alcohol wipe, and it'll, take away your motion sickness, almost, or the nausea almost instantly.
Really?
So I got to give that a shot. Cause,
I don't get motion sickness. I've you know what? I've gotten motion sickness once in my life, and I can't. And this is the oddest thing. Jen was driving. I had the iPad, and the kids were playing Minecraft, and they wanted me to play Minecraft with them. I was trying to play Minecraft while driving, and I almost vomited. The only time I've ever gotten air sick, like our motion sickness. I don't get I get anxiety from flying. I
Yeah.
get like sick to my stomach from anxiety, but when it comes to motion sickness, I don't get it.
I know. I think Apple has it now too, but I know Android has it to where you can turn on the motion sickness feature on your phone. So if you're driving or you're as a passenger and you're looking down, it has hundreds of dots all over the screen, and they're constantly moving and floating around, and it's supposed to like help your eyes like focus, I guess, so you don't get motion sickness.
Gotcha.
As you're driving. So
Shouldn't look at your phone while you're driving.
well, yeah, you shouldn't look at your phone when if you're the passenger princess, and you get motion, because I can't. Like if I'm in the passenger seat, my eyes are on the road. That's it. Same thing as a boat. I need to see the horizon, or I'll get motion sickness, and I get motion sickness in a plane. Luckily, it's been a long time since I've thrown up, but I do have breathing exercises that I was taught by my doctor, 20 years ago to, when I'm on a plane, it's just these deep breathing exercises, in and out, concentrate, and it's kept me from throwing up for about a decade now. But there's been the last few flights, it's been close. I keep that motion sickness bag isn't in that little cubby in the seat. I am hitting that button.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize you were that air sickness prone.
Yeah, it's something to do with my doctor, because I'm blind in my right eye, and he said there's something to do with your equilibrium of not being able to see in both eyes.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
His throws off where you're more prone, or my eye doctor knows you're more prone to motion sickness than most people, or all people that only have vision in one eye, are more prone to motion sickness. So
I can see that. I mean, I could most definitely understand, that impact on motion sickness, but I mean, I've known a lot of people who get, they got to take some Dramamine, or they got to take this or take that, and I'm just like, listen, I don't have a motion sickness. I have a fear of crashing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink a lot. I take, Ativan and take some freaking bourbon and some scotch, and that's all I need.
Yeah. I have the patch I can put behind my ear, like I mean, for flights, it doesn't. It takes away nausea. There we go.
There you go, Jen, right from Sugar.
Yeah. When I was coming back from Cuba, one of the guys gave me, because that flight was a little rough, and I was starting to really feel it about halfway through. And that's when it sucks. Usually it's only on the landing. Like, you're a few minutes out, and they start the descent, and then the plane's rocking a little more. That's when it really kicks in. But he gave me some, it was for chemo patients, in a tiny little pill, like half the size of a grain of rice. And I put that on my tongue. It dissolved instantly, and it was gone.
That's it's Jen, what's the name of that drug? Because Joe, we still got some here from when Joe was getting therapy, and it's like when you're nauseated and you take that pill, it's like gone.
Oh yeah, I mean,
what the hell name is that?
Yeah.
Jen's probably not even watching right now, but
yeah. So but yeah, it's
Zofran. That's
okay.
It. She said these over. So yeah. Joe's got. We know when he's, because you get, like you said, with treatment, and they use it for other treatment, but Zofran's like freaking gods. It's like gas X.
Yeah, and then I got to fast for 12 hours prior to flying.
That's right. You do.
So yeah, so as long as I don't have any, that's what keeps me in, like, no water, no nothing for 12 hours. My stomach has to be empty, and then
that's right. I remember that now.
Yeah, that keeps the that away. But I don't have a fear of crashing, only because I know it'll be instantaneous. There's like, you're not going to feel it. If the plane breaks up, at altitude, you're going to pass out almost instantly. So I mean, you're never, so that doesn't bother me crashing because there's just no way, even if you're going down, like we're gonna crash, you're gonna be split into a million pieces instantly, and there's no way your body can register the pain that quickly. So I'm okay.
No, it's just for me, it's not the pain, okay, at all. Because I realize that freaking if you're 30,000 feet and whatever happens like that. Remember that golfer several years ago? The guy who always used to wear the knickers and the hat.
Oh, yeah, Payne Stewart.
Stewart. You lose. I mean, it's instantaneous, like you said.
But
if
they flew for hours.
Well, that was on autopilot, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they lost all their oxygen, cabin pressure, and they all freaking were dead, frozen.
Yeah.
They saw frost on the inside.
Yeah, when they set up the fighter jets and they got up next to them and like the windows are frosted, they knew at that point. They're like, okay. So they tried to calculate how much fuel they had, where that descent was gonna.
Yeah, they had to determine whether they're gonna drop it or not. But
yeah.
But it's not that. I realize that when you're going down, when you hit, you're not gonna feel anything. I get it. It's first of all just that freaking terror. I know it's 2 minutes of terror, 5 minutes of terror. I always watch those shows where they talk about a certain flight and they're like, they were free falling for like 3 minutes. Those people must have been scared. I was like, you think?
Yeah.
But it's also just like the whole finality of it. It's just, I know, I realize that this our time on this earth is limited. Doesn't escape me. But I figure when I get on the plane, it's like, okay, I could survive a car crash. I could survive a whatever crash, this crash, plane crash. Probably not going to.
Up until a certain altitude, that's what I look for. Like when you're taking off, you're up, you're a couple hundred feet, you're 1,000 feet, and then you're like, oh God, if something happens here, there's a chance I could survive. But it would be horrific. I'll probably be covered in jet fuel, burning alive. That's a horrible way to go. So once you're at altitude, and then I'm like, all right, I feel better. But what I want is like a small crash, just so I could say, like, I think I've joked about it in the past, a small crash, everybody survives, but it's technically considered a crash. And that way in the future, I'm all safe. I know that, the odds of getting into one plane crash are like super high. The odds of getting in 2 plane crashes, that's astronomical. It can't happen. So it's I'm good at that.
That's a weird reason to want to get into a plane crash, but
yeah,
I definitely know who to call when I need a freaking calm down. Kevin, I'm at the airport, man. I'm really, really freaking scared. I'm really, really nervous. Listen, dude. Once you get above 2,000 feet, you're fine, because below that, if you crash, you'll be in jet fuel. You'll be burning. You don't want that. So I know who not to call.
That's it. Unless I'm like that one lone survivor that walks away. There's always that.
Was that guy in India? Was that in India where that freaking plane crashed and it was like one survivor? He got jettisoned out like the freaking window or the door or something.
Yeah, there's a few. There's that famous one where a young girl, got broke up midair and she fell, and then like above like the Amazon rainforest.
Oh yeah, that's old.
Like 30,000 feet, and then hit a bunch of trees and then wandered for like a week or two before she was found or something, and it's just like God. So.
Yeah. I mean, they did. I think they did they did a show on that. Because I remember seeing that. But the guy, this was just recently. The guy who just.
Oh, recently? Oh no, I didn't.
Air India. That's what it was. Is Air India? He was the sole survivor. 241 people on board.
Wow.
Vishwa Kumar Ramesh walked away from the wreckage. I remember that was London bound. I remember it freaking crashed into a freaking an area that was heavily populated. And I remember they had the video camera. And he's just fucking walking away. And it's like,
How did he got, you said he got sucked out, or did it crash and he survived the landing or the crash?
he was near an emergency exit. So sitting near emergency exit, he was right in back, like behind one. I'm trying to look it up here because I thought he said he got tossed out. But he might have walked out of this thing. But I remember like the whole like trail of destruction from this flight was crazy. And there's this dude just strolling around like he just freaking like fell out of his chair. Man, like sitting in your backyard.
And then he's the guy that, dies like a week later from some random strange, like a brick falling from a building or something, Final Destination style, like death is coming for him. But yeah, how man, 241 people.
Oh, he said he escaped through a ruptured fuselage opening and an emergency exit near his seat. He just literally freaking crawled through and walked out.
Man, that's
so when it landed, that area where that freaking exit was cracked open, which was like just created this natural opening.
Wow! While everybody else burned alive from the jet fuel.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So it kind of knocked him out a little bit. They said he woke up, crawled through the gap in the wreckage, and walked away from the site. That's like. You ever see the movie Unbreakable?
Yeah, oh yeah, with Bruce Willis. Yeah,
it's like that, Crazy stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff. So it's about survivor's guilt after that.
Oh yeah, he's got PTSD. I just in the article they were talking about it, they were sharing like his PTSD and how bad it is, and you got your survivor's guilt, obviously, just terrible shit, man. I'm looking through here at all the different sole survivors of plane crashes, and his was the highest casualty, 260.
260 is the highest casualty of a lone survivor walking away from something.
What there's 152 that was back in 2009 in Yemenia. There's like 116 in Sudan. I mean, it's crazy. 135 in Indonesia, 156 in the U.S. Northwest Airlines back in 1987. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, those are the type of things Jessica doesn't like reading about or talking about, before she goes on trips or anything else. And, and that's one of, it is one of the reasons I got my appointment tomorrow with my estate attorney, to finalize my will and everything else. And then I'm telling her, I'm like, well, at least we're covered, if something happens on the plane or something. She's like, stop talking about that. It's like, I'm not going to go. And I'm like, I'm just saying, at least Amber's covered, because I have one of those, weird policies that pays like 10x if you die on an airplane or a bus or like a cab, not an Uber but a cab. So she makes out.
So Kevin, you're talking about having this luck if you're in a crash, right? You tell me, Larissa Savitskia, she's the one who survived in 1981, right?
Yeah.
She was 20 years old, right? She was rescued 3 days later. She survived a 17,000-foot free fall.
Yeah. I think it was in a jungle though. They're thinking the canopy
after a midair collision by remaining wedged in a detached rear cabin section that glided into birch trees.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. You hear the stories about people free falling like 30,000 feet. And
Here's someone here. I mean, this person fell 33,000 feet. 33,000 feet after an explosion tore through the baggage compartment, 1972. How the hell?
well, the only thing on that is 33,000 feet and 5,000 feet. There is no difference. I mean, you're hitting terminal velocity at probably 1,000 feet. You're at terminal velocity, so you're not going to fall any faster. At 33,000 versus 5,000 feet. But it's you just got a lot more time to fucking think about it. So
Yeah, like you said, there's 10,000 feet. I mean, yeah, it's if it's 1,000, if it's 1,000 foot, it's 30,000 foot. It's a long ass way. But
it's a long way. Free falling 30,000 feet, you're falling a couple of minutes. Versus 5,000 feet or so. You're going to be at the ground real quick. You're not going to have a whole lot of time to think about that fall. But you say 33,000 feet, you've got a few minutes to think of like, how bad is this going to hurt? Or is my body just going to vaporize?
So this table is incidents involving 10 or more people on board, minimum of 9 occupancy, right? So here's your 1 in a million, Kev, or one, and how many are on this list? Hold on, that fucking one. What? Holy shit, dude! 2 people on this list. This 1935, 1941. Okay. Vernon Gory Wilson was he was a captain of the flight. Imperial Airways. 12 people died. He's UK. Died in another plane crash 7 years later.
Really?
Clarence Bates, captain of the flight, Northwest Airlines, Flight 5. 14 people died in 1941. Died in another plane crash a year later. 2 people on the list who are in crashes died in a plane crash.
It's like that the one nurse that survived what is it, Titanic, Britannic, and then the third sister ship, like three passenger liners went down. She survived all of them and then retired. It's
God, man, that's crazy though. Yeah, I mean, this is a decent list, but man, it's not a big list.
Yeah,
when you're talking about sole survivors of 10, about 10 people on flight. I mean, that's and dating back to 1929. That's
I can see back then. Safety protocols aren't what they were today. We didn't have as good of airplanes.
Right, so. But still, I'm saying dating back far, that's not a lot of flights based off of that. I mean, you think about it, that's crazy to have that many in there.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. Just all the ways to go. But yeah, it's I don't know. I definitely don't want something happening at 30,000 feet. And then like I said, having those few minutes to think about that on the way. You ever see that Shane Gillis skit where they're on the plane, they think they're going down, everybody starts making the phone calls, and then they level off, and it's just like, it's shouldn't have made that phone call.
Yeah, there's
so there's an interesting question to ponder, Kerr. So you're at 35,000 feet. All the engines go out. Pilots say you're going down. Nothing. You can make a call. Who do you call? Did you call? You call Jen. You call. You try and call as many people as you can. Because there's gonna be that. You call Jen. You're probably not gonna get off the phone. You call. Same thing with same with Jessica. And I'll be like, okay, Jess, I gotta go, and she'll be like, you gotta go. And I'm like, I got some other calls to make. I got some fucking scores to settle. you
That's
know, but
hilarious. The number is 125 was in that list of sole survivors from 1929 to recent. Who would I call? Geez, that's a great question. You know what? If you say one person, the other people are gonna get pissed off, right? I wouldn't call anybody.
no, neither would I.
I said a group text.
No, I'd go live on Facebook.
So, Jen, Kevin just asked me, you're in a plane, 35,000 feet. You're going down. The pilot says you're going down, and you can make a phone call. Who do you call? And he said, if you call Jen, you probably never get off the phone. And he said this. He goes, Jessica too. And I said, I don't know. I said, I'd probably send a group text. Yeah, Jen wouldn't answer the phone. Probably. I know. I'd have to send group text.
Well, that's the same with Jessica. Like I said, she's got an iPhone. None of you iPhone people ever have your phones on, you know. So I'd call my daughter. She's an Android person, so she'll pick up.
Yeah.
So,
I could see me calling Jen and the fucking phone ringing, and then the voicemail picking up, and me just going like I had my one call going down, and I get, but hey Jen, it's Kerr. Listen, when you get this, I'm not going to be here anymore. So what I need you to do is I need you to turn on the freaking Fox News, and my password is
Oh,
and whatever you do, please don't look at my history on my computer.
Don't look at my browsing history. So no, I said I would go live on Facebook or YouTube, and then just create a video, and then say my final words, you know, to as many people as I can. Everybody. Yeah,
that's a good idea. Go live.
Yeah. Plus it's, you know, I don't know. That just sounds like something I'd do, you know, go live on Facebook, you know, during my final moments. Not
hey, everybody, it's coming from Cigar Prop.
That's it.
I want to let you know. Hey, keep it down.
This will be my final Tech Tip Sunday. Check the oil in the engine of the planes that you decided to go on.
Tech Tip Sunday for all you airplane mechanics. Make sure you check the stabilizers, because apparently that's what's going on here, and the stabilizers have broken. And
that's it. That's my viral moment. Been waiting my life to go viral for that one, and then but then everybody I know would be like, that's Kevin going out with a video, going live.
And then you'll hit save, and it'll be like, I'm sorry, but Facebook deems this material
I know,
offensive.
Yeah.
You mentioned tobacco. You mentioned cigar. You said Cigar Prop.
Yeah. That's it.
That's actually a good idea, though. Yeah, you go on there. Hey, everybody, this is coming from Cigar Prop. As you know, I am flying to Colorado. Unfortunately, we were just notified by the captain that we're going down, and we only have a couple minutes to live. So I wanted to finish off by saying goodbye to everybody. Since it's not Sunday, but this is a Tech Tip Wednesday for you airplane mechanics. Make sure you check the oil pressure and the stabilizers, because there's a bolt, and that bolt wears down over the years. And if you don't monitor and replace that bolt every couple of years, you get this.
That's it. You know, it just reminds me of that one flight attendant years ago. The only time I ever took Spirit, you know, it was down to the Bahamas, and because it was only a 20 fucking minute flight from Miami. And when she said, well, in case this Spirit flight turns into a Spirit cruise, your seat cushions can be used as flotation devices. And I'm like, that's awesome. You know, I love that, you know, so, you know, I want to
make light of it.
That's it. So and now they don't even talk anymore on at least Delta doesn't. All they do is they play the videos,
the recordings,
and then the flight attendant stands there, you know, and like she'll have the seat belt, and then she'll be, you know, reminds me of Tommy Boy, you know, like, listen, if you don't know how a seat belt works, you just ring that little thing, and a Tommy will come over here and hit you on the head or something because you're an idiot. It's but yeah.
Yep. Yep. So the Powerball's at $905 million, Kev.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, William, I got you too, man. Like I said, they say we're going down. I'm lighting a cigar. You know it.
You're like, shit.
Going on.
Shit. Yeah.
What's going on there?
That will be my video. Be like, hey, Jen just texted me we won lottery, and 15 minutes later, I'm going down.
Yeah.
So.
No. Mine is I'll light the cigar and then they'll recover at a few thousand feet, and then I go to jail, for smoking on a plane. So.
Your last cigar review.
Yeah, my last cigar review. Better be a good one. But yeah, 900 million. God, it's because we just had someone win, like the last one, like a couple hundred million, like 30 minutes away from us. Because it's always California that seems to win the big jackpots. But we had a Florida winner. So you win this, Kerr, $900 million. You win it. What's the first thing you do? First thing.
Oh, well, $900 million.
So you're going to walk away with about 450, maybe 400.
I mean, you obviously got to get a financial advisor to make a decision on to get the payments, or can those payments be willed off to someone? Find out all the rules, and I don't think they can be. But
I think the number is like anything over, I forget what it was, like 30 or 40 million. The payments are out. Like you'll never make money. You'll always make more money.
So then you take half. So they're gonna take half, and then once they take another half, so you're probably going to end up walking away with about 250 million.
No, well, depending on which state you live in. In Florida, we'd walk away with a little bit more than half.
But the federal, they got to take it too because it's taxable income.
So, that's federal because we don't have state taxes.
Right. So basically, and larger payments like that, like bonuses and stuff, you might as well just freaking 40 to 50%. So so you take half, another half. Let's just say 300 million, right? So you walk away with 300 million. What's the first thing I would do? Probably the first thing I would do is I wouldn't tell anybody.
Oh, there'd be signs though. Yeah.
There'd be signs. I wouldn't tell anybody. And then Jennifer and myself and Wyatt, we would drive down, pick up Joe in St. Augustine, and we would drive and do a surprise visit to you guys. And I'd say, let's do a live show. And if I did a live show, I would give you $1 million right there on the spot.
That doesn't seem like a lot of money, Kerr. You walk away with like 300.
You're welcome, you selfish motherfucker. You
a million. What's a million?
To start, I give you $1 million.
Oh, $1 million. So yeah, okay, to start. Okay,
to start.
Yeah. So I always because I've had the conversation with Jessica. I'm like, I'd give half away instantly. 50% of whatever I get goes right to charity. I go, I need them karma points, because I'm about to fuck some shit up.
I don't need karma points. I eventually, the one thing I always thought about doing after giving you ungrateful bastard $1 million and hear you piss and moan about how it was only $1 million. And then I would take it away from you. I'd give it to Jessica. And then all of a sudden Kevin would be in his freaking lounge by himself. And you'd see the freaking tires just could be driving down the road. But what I'd like to do, especially like here in Greenville, is get a hotel, right? And
that's where he freezes up. Hold on.
What? Am I frozen?
Oh, you said you get a hotel and then you were just like this.
I get a hotel. It's a great, big, beautiful. I get a hotel, and I would, get it completely, redone. The ground floor would be turned into a medical clinic, right? And then this would be an area where homeless people can come and actually go and get their medical attention that they need. And a lot of the psychiatric, it would be heavily psychiatric as well. They'd have places to live. Now, there'd be rules. If you fuck up, you're out. But drug use, you're out. But it would be a place for them to live and get cleaned up, get on their feet. It would be an address for them to have so they can get a job and actually get back into, back into the real world, and not be unhoused, homeless, not be homeless. Is always when it comes to the issues with homelessness is the high rate of psychiatric disorders that are out there. So that's why there would definitely be a medical center where there would be physicians who would get paid, but then we'd have to have some folks, who would volunteer, and they would come in, get them cleaned up, get them taken care of, and that's what I would do with my money to give back to the community.
Well, if I won, I would give you money to do that, so, but
Thanks,
I,
Kev.
but
$1 million though, right?
Yeah.
I already said see, Kevin's a topper. I gave him $1 million. Now he's like, oh, I'll give you 1.5 million, Kerr.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it. Brian said, here we go. I would disappear. A few people would find large checks in their mailboxes, but I would be nothing but a rumor.
I love you, Brian. That's a great idea. I'll send you my address after show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely visit. Travel would definitely be the one. But you wouldn't see me for a little bit. I'd be a hot minute before. But you mentioned like that's a good idea. I wonder why. Because honestly, that plan it wouldn't cost that much. I mean, really, depending on the hotel you buy, if you buy a large enough hotel. It's probably an investment under $10 million to get started. You would think by now, like maybe like that's, like why can't we try that?
And then you got to, you raise money, you do blah, 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 blah. You get some, you should be able to get some federal funds, get, government funds, but you still always have that private money funding it as well. Now, again, it costs money. It's going to cost a lot of money. But if you do something like that, as a second chance, a real opportunity, you'd have to have a pretty good estimate. I mean, if you got a hotel, of how many rooms and shit, it depends on how bad the homeless, a situation is within your certain town. But I think that would be a really good start. But the emphasis on it is just more than just saying, hey, I got you a place to stay with a shower and stuff. It's like, no, here you go. You're coming in. You got to really go through some medical examination. You got to go through some psych eval. There's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done, and it's going to take a lot of folks. It's going to take a lot of social workers. It's going to take a lot of therapists. It's going to take a lot of doctors. But I think something like that, would be I'd be a what is
philanthropic?
What is George always say? He always makes it.
Dallas.
What are you saying over there? Philanthropic, I know, but George Costanza always has like I always wanted to be I think I'd be a good philanthropist or whatever.
Yeah.
He always says, the human fund. I would actually call it the human fund.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be what I'd do.
And I could see something like that taking off. Like, if you really worked hard and almost if you kept the government out of it. Anytime the government gets involved, shit just gets messy. I mean, that could be an example throughout,
government funds. Yeah.
Getting that spread across the country and having that, like I said, depending on the area and you're in, a larger hotel or,
you see that, see what I would do is how you would disappear. I'd be the big jackass on the camera saying, here's what we're doing here. Hey, multi-millionaire and billionaires. Hey, freaking Mark Cuban. Hey, guys, why can't you do something like this?
Yeah.
And then just kind of rattle everyone's cages. I definitely would definitely do a lot with money with childhood diseses, specific, in cancer research. But other childhood.
No, that's where all my money would go. Is just childhood stuff. That's the only, that's the ones that get me. Sick kids, man. I can't see that. It's just there's no.
It's horrible, man. It's a terrible thing, dude.
It really is. I mean, you've experienced it personally. It's I've seen it. With all my years of volunteering with the American Cancer Society. And they're the kids are the ones that are the toughest, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the cancer. The adults are the ones that moan and groan, and which they have every right to. They have cancer.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's like, I'm not getting this, or I'm not getting this treatment, or, I should be, getting this or that. And the kids, man, you ask them, how you doing? It's like, yeah, just, taking it, take one day at a time. I'm okay. And it's just like, no, you're not, it's
Stop.
just, it's brutal to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Joe always says his cancer was a curse and a blessing. And it's amazing when you see the kids come out the other side. And it's also really tough to see the ones that don't make it. We've had that experience firsthand with Lily, with Joe's friend, with the who's the girl, the LLS Girl of the Year.
Jessica's seen it. When Wyatt was smaller and had to have like 30 surgeries, and thank God for the Ronald McDonald House, and she's just seen these kids that don't come out. It's just. It's
terrible, man.
It's brutal to see, a child go through months or years of something and then still not come out the other end. That's just.
But you need what? Like you can take $10 million and put it in the bank, right? And you can live off that. I mean, invest it and live off the freaking, the residuals and the freaking that stuff. I mean, you put a freaking $1 million here and there with your family and your kids. I mean, here's some money, just go with it, and then the rest you just freaking
I'd set up probably a dozen trusts, start, put $10 million into, a dozen trusts that, for kids, grandkids, to where, you don't want to give them lump sum money. My daughter's super responsible, but, just you give them a little bit, they get a monthly stipend for the rest of their lives. Maybe they get, $4,000 or $5,000, a couple $1,000 every month, so they still got to work, but, it's the little things that are taken care of.
First thing I would do, Kevin, is I would buy every house in my neighborhood and get everybody out in 30 days. And then just be like, I'm going to live in my house for the next couple of months with no neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then bitch to the HOA when the freaking lawns aren't cut.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it. Matt, give it to the children and vets. It, hits me hard, puts me in a bad place. Yeah. It's the, the kids and the vets, God, the vets, I've got some customers that are vets, some friends, it's just, I don't know. I guess we could go on for hours about the vets. They just, there's a guy that, that I know that got blown up in Afghanistan, and we're not doing anything for him. And it's just like, God, he got fucking blown up, half his face is disfigured. He's only missing a leg. I mean, only missing a leg. I mean, that's definitely, with everything else, but, thankfully he's only missing a leg, but that one vet I saw on TV, he got both his arms and both his legs. They had to amputate after an IED, and we couldn't take care of that guy. He's been on the news a few times. And it's like, how the fuck aren't we? Like, how does he not have everything he needs? Like, I mean, it's not like you hear about I watch Caleb Hammer, on TikTok, and every vet that he has on the show there, he loves the supports the military. But like every vet, the last one I saw, is on disability. They all retire. And then the one guy, he's like, okay, like, what did you do? And he's like, I was a cook, for 4 years. And he goes, and you're disabled? He's like, yeah, I hurt my back, and it's not like, he wasn't like, listen, I think you're faking it. But it was just like, there's some guys out there like that don't have legs and arms, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it definitely. And, it's, you're like, dude, what you slip on a potato?
That's it. Oh yeah. We say only a leg, but yeah, no, it's just, the aftermath of that. Just the, I mean, when you're missing a leg. I mean, it's the year that you're in the hospital
Yeah.
prior to that with all the therapy and everything else, and then we just release them out into the open. Hey, here's your titanium new leg that the government paid 30 grand for, and have a nice day.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, there's a lot, you think off the top of your head of what you would want to do immediately, but then, you definitely would sit down and realistically talk to an advisor. I mean, I know if I won the money, I know who I would call. I got a couple of buddies of mine who are in finance, guys who I trust, who are really good at what they do. And then you start talking about, different opportunities. What's the best thing to do with your money, how to create something like that hotel, the freaking human fund, or how to take the money and really, make sure that the money that you're giving to an organization utilizes that money. And I'm not paying for freaking office equipment and freaking bonuses.
That's the big one. It's, so many, I always look up online, it's, which is why I wish the NFL would look into the Susan G. Komen. It's like they need to get non-affiliated with that garbage charity. When it's you go to like the Ronald McDonald fund. I mean, where like 99 cents, or I mean, it's an obscene amount of money that goes towards the care and the patients, and very little. Same thing with the American Cancer Society. Back when I was with them, it was almost all, going back out. None of it stayed in. But when you get these organizations like Susan G. Komen and these others, where it's the opposite, 90 cents stays in, 10 cents goes out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously familiar with that. There's the one in Pittsburgh, but that's the tough part, is like when you do get donations, or you do have philanthropic, individuals who will write a check. It's like, okay, here's $1 million. Okay, you have to take part of that money and you have to spend it, or it has to go towards someone who's going to invest or spend that money. Now, if it's what I'm saying, like every organization, they still have people who run it, and they still have to get paid.
Yes.
So there are a certain percentage of money that is being donated that still has to go towards the individuals who are running, making sure that, not only are they running day-to-day operations, but they're also thinking, of the 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plan down the road. I think that there are some organizations and there are some groups where, you're looking at what money they're making. You're like, oh, about that. You're making a lot of money. Do you really need $1 million salary to determine where that money goes?
Yes.
So I think that there is a reasonable amount, and you have to take into consideration you're not going to pay someone $60,000 to oversee a multi-million-dollar freaking organization. So there is a balance with that, but I do, you said, there are enough organizations out there where you know that there are some misappropriation of funds, and monies do not find its way to the folks who are supposed to get it. Like, what was it, 2008, 2009, all the money that the government gave, for the housing market to save the banks and the housing market. Now,
how much trickled down? Yeah,
dude.
You had, was it
15%? 15% of that money.
What was it? Bank of America or Wells Fargo, where they got that money, and then their bonus plan came out, and it was like $100 million worth of bonuses.
You're paying people's bonuses and shit. It's like, you know what, man? At that point, when the ship's sinking, you gotta freaking get a bucket and start bailing the water. You just don't freaking look at this as your own personal life preserver. And that bailout, I think it was 15 or 30% of the funds actually were trickled down and actually helped actual homeowners, to help save their homes. Where the rest of it was just a bailout of the banks.
Of their bad investments,
and
and people still say that money should have directly went to the consumer, but I'm like, I don't know, it's, or the homeowners. It's like, yeah, you can't give, everybody just $100,000. I mean, it wasn't that much. I mean, they could have realistically give like every homeowner, it was like $100,000, but it's like, yeah, I mean, you should have given me that. I would have paid off my mortgage. Then the bank would have gotten that money.
The problem is that the government didn't want to put, this is Bush's Bush Jr.'s administration. They didn't want to put someone who was a government official overseeing the money. So what they did was they allowed the heads of these banks to oversee it as like a committee, which is like putting the fox in charge of the freaking hen house, right? Yeah. And that's where you started seeing like, okay, here's my block of mortgages, we'll give some money to this one, but all these, they're going to have to foreclose, because what we're going to do is we're getting our money from the government. We'll resell the home, and if there's any money that's lost based off of the value of the home and what's sold for it, we'll freaking compensate that with even more money by government subsidies. And that's what ended up happening. That's where people started class action lawsuits against some mortgage companies. They're like, hey, you got X amount of money. You only used 10% of that or 15% of that to help out the people who freaking were who bought homes from you, and you allowed 70 whatever 80% of the lien holders of the homeowners of who you own, you allowed them to lose their homes because you wanted to freaking pay your shit.
Yeah, and then these people that end up still losing their homes, and then and then it affected their credit. The bank should have, when I got divorced from my first wife, this is going back, I was probably going back 25 years or so, but it was like right around that time, and and she was going to keep the house, and then she ended up not wanting the house, which I understand, the memories and everything else, and then she just let it go into foreclosure. And I was still on the house. So luckily, we ended up doing getting a real estate agent. We did a short sale on the house. And then the upside down wasn't that much. It was only like $25,000, $20,000. And the bank ended up doing a forbearance. It's like, okay, so you owe us, technically you still owe us $20,000. We're just going to wipe our hands of that. Not affect your credit, anything else. The IRS came and said, hey, you basically got like a $20,000 check from the government, from the bank.
Yeah.
So you owe. So I paid my taxes on that. I was able to skip, any type of, bankruptcy over that whole mess. And that's what the bank should have done. But they, in that situation, for a lot of people that lost their homes, because like you said, the banks resold the homes.
It happened to me. That happened to me during that period of time. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah. Like you said, going through divorce, freaking, got laid off, and I'm trying the whole freaking process of that whole situation back then was a nightmare with selling the home. But eventually what happened was I had gone through every government agency possible, and that's when I finally met someone from this housing department, and he's the one who was telling me how they're just kind of just taking the money and pocketing it. He's like, I wish I could do more for you, but he goes, I'm going to advise you he goes, there's some specialists. He gave me a name to do a short sale, like you said, right? And guy came out, assessed the home. He goes, I think we're going to be okay with this. He goes, I think we do the short sale. He goes, I think with what you owe on the house, what we'll get for you. He goes, I think you're going to be good. And the company who was the mortgage company freaking denied the short sale.
Really?
for no reason. And I had the guy on the phone tell me, he was talking to me and he goes, Kerr, he goes, in all my years of doing this, he's like, and look at the house, he goes, I have never, ever had a bank say, no, don't do the short sale. If anything, they want to do the short sale because that's where we're going to make more money versus a sheriff's sale.
Yeah.
He's like, and he goes, I have no idea why they're denying it. And then that's when the guy from the housing department was like, well, he's like, they have these blocks of, and again, probably someone who knows a hell of a lot more than I will would correct me left and right, but I'm just going by memory from many, many years ago, about how they have their blocks of mortgages, and it's almost like a portfolio, and then they kind of pick and choose which ones are going to help, and the rest of them, they're like, fuck it, we're done with it. And I remember that year when I did my taxes and I had to submit everything, you get that, here's how much you owe on taxes whatever that I can't remember what it is that the bank company sends you, the mortgage company, that you fill in the amount, and then then the government tells you how much you owe. Well, I freaking put all that shit in, and I'm like, holy balls. Like, I saw how much I owed. And it was like, I remember I was like, I'm a goner. I'm done for. So that year, President Bush signed, I don't know if it was a law bill, whatever, but I remember contacting a company, and I'm like, listen, here's the deal. This happened, that happens. I said, here's how much I owe in taxes. I said, it's like fucking ridiculous level. And you're muted.
I muted my second. I thought there was a ghost in my office. I saw the chair moving around, and I'm like, what the fuck? It was Jessica. I didn't know she was in there the whole time. So
but I when I like filled out all my paperwork in my taxes, I owed like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
And I called this company, and I'm like, hey, I need some help. I'm gonna be freaking I'm gonna freaking probably owe money until the day I die. And they said, oh, what you need to do is go to this and submit this like Form A or something. And they're like, the government is freaking forgiving everybody for their freaking taxes because of a housing crash.
Oh, okay.
And I went in and I filled out that freaking portion of, the multiple freaking documents when you're doing taxes. There's a supplemental freaking, document that you filled out. And when I filled out, I hit enter. It went back to me getting back like $1,000. And I was like, how? It literally went from me owing the government a ridiculous amount of money. You can figure a year of taxes on the home and stuff.
Oh yeah.
To freaking getting back $1,000, because that's what they did that year. I think it was for that year, the year after, because of how so many people got freaking hammered during that housing market, but a lot of people. And then what happened was there's a class action lawsuit against the mortgage company. And I got a letter in the mail, and they're like, hey, we're a class action lawsuit. Do you want to join? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Look, sign it. It was like maybe a year or so later, they lost. And it was obviously like $200 and some odd million, $250 million, 249 million goes to the lawyers. And then 1 million is distributed amongst 3 million people. So it was like, I got a check for like $600, but it didn't hurt my credit because of what happened. I didn't have to pay the taxes because it was a horrible time, and I would never want anybody to have to go through that, but a class action lawsuit against the freaking mortgage company.
Damn. Hey, Jessica, Matt Hashimoto says hello. She says hello, Matt. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, James, what's up, my brother? Watching from the ocean as service allows. He actually stopped. Him and his wife stopped by the house the other night, and on their way down to Miami, cruising, going on a cruise. They drove in from Louisiana all the way through. made some stops, and I stopped in and seen Jessica and I, and it was funny when we walked into the humidor. I always tell everybody the same thing. Because I asked him, like, have you ever seen the movie The Jerk? But it was just like, I tell everybody, you can smoke whatever you want, anything you want in the whole humidor, on this side, on this shelf, between this space and this space. You remember when he's at the carnival and they won? You can have anything you want on this shelf between this spot, but between and this spot. So basically, anything you want in this area right here, you can smoke. Great movie.
That's hilarious.
So
anybody that's a great movie.
Oh my God, so many. Don't Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey, and and I forget what like the 3 things that his dad told him before. And he's repeating it. All right, Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. And I forget what the 3rd one was.
It's been a minute since I watched that movie, man. But what a classic.
Oh my God. It's oil. Movie. He hates oil.
Cans. He hates
cans. That's what it was.
Oh my God.
Matt does the same thing in his humidor.
I like what he said. I met a friend here, and she says we're boyfriend girlfriend, and she said that she's giving me a new job.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're reading it to the family. Look, Ma, I got rhythm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, he's like this. I got rhythm.
Oh my God.
So, Jessica. Speaking of mood, Jessica got me on a TV show. She duped me into watching a fucking new TV show. It's good. It's good. I'll admit her. It not old. It was an old one. She's like, oh hey. There's this TV show. It's how they built the railway, back in, when they're building it. And then I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. I'd like to learn how they built the rail. I know how they did it, but it was like a multi-season thing on how they built the railway. I have learned nothing about how they built the railway, Kerr.
What is it called?
It's called Hell on Wheels.
Oh, we almost watched that.
It's fantastic.
Is it really?
Don't go into it thinking you're going to learn how the railway was built.
I would never go into that show thinking about that. And but I got to before you go on. The only thing that hovers above a Kevin recommendation that is a black cloud is that you like Snowpiercer, the series, because that movie was horrible.
The movie Snowpiercer, horrible. The TV show, amazing. We loved it. But Hell on Wheels, I'm not like Jessica's tried to con me into watching all these series before, and I find out like it's 5 seasons, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting caught up, but yeah, on this one, I like the first couple episodes a little slow. By like episode 3, like I was hooked. There's some nights we're watching 2, 3, 4 episodes. So we've been able to get all, I think we're down to our final season or almost. So, but yeah, super good series.
Yeah.
But, Matt says, Lioness is, fire.
Awesome, dude.
Jessica loves it. Like I said,
Lioness or Hell on Wheels.
Yeah. What's up, Nick D?
Hell on
Wheels,
my man.
Yeah, Hell on Wheels. You definitely got to watch it. It's a great series, like 2015 or something. But but the only thing, like I said, I don't like watching series like that because I do get like emotionally invested in these series, and then when they end, it's just like I'm not like these are like what's going to happen to Cullen Bohannon like when he's like 80? How does he die? How does he spend the rest of his life? Like this is like but I'm the same thing on a book. When I go through a series and like they'll end a book series, and the characters like in their 40s or something. I'm like, no, what the fuck is it? How do they die? Or do they have kids at the end? I mean, what's the rest of their lives like? So that's why I like watching my shows about space and time travel and all of that and aliens, because I'm content on at the end of every episode. I'm not,
I was glad to see Daryl Iverson hop on. Big D. Daryl and I, we communicated. We always communicating every day. I wish I could. I probably don't text him as much as I would like to, being busy. But we're always texting different shows back and forth to each other as well. We talk about different shows we like. And he started the show Sugar on Apple TV.
Okay, Sugar. Yeah,
Sugar. Season 1 is really, really good. I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts, but it was fantastic. Season 2 is a little slow, but I think you would like Sugar. Season 1 is good. Lioness, fantastic show. But
so what is it? Because that's Morgan Freeman, right?
He's one of the people on there. I guess he is.
Okay. What's the? I've seen like
CIA
advertisements
operatives
for
CIA operatives.
What? Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
CIA operatives, yeah, and it's got a. I mean, it's written by Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of his shows. Yeah,
it's one of his really. It's a fantastic show. It really is. The series, it's season 3 now. I mean, just fantastic, awesome show. We love it here. Really, Jim. But I mean, he's got some good shows out there. He does. And he's got. I mean, we watched Marshalls. It was like, whatever. It's a freaking. It's not a bad one. But Zoe Saldana's in it.
Okay.
Awesome. She was naked last episode.
This is like the
Nicole Kidman's in it.
Yeah, this is the only series Jessica's watched. Like, there's no nudity, not even a boob, not even a side boob. And I'm like, she watches all these shows. I walk in, people are always naked, having sex, and it's always when I walk in, and it's just like, what are you watching? So so we get a series, and it's like I don't even get a boob. They're fully clothed, I get no side boob.
No side boob.
Yeah. Not even a little side boob.
Yeah, Jen and I we've considered Hell on Wheels. We've kind of seen it and passed by it. But
it's a must. It really is.
I'm telling you, you have the show that we are like. I'm in love with. Like what was the Tom Hardy series that we were watching? The new one. But I'll get to that. But the show we've been watching that's on right now is Westies.
Okay.
You have to see that, Kevin. It is
Westies. Jessica, have you heard Westies?
Westies. It's like early 80s in Boston. No, it's in New York. Hell's Kitchen. Boston Mafia, Italian Mafia. They got Colombians. It is a fantastic show. It has a great cast of there's not a bad actor or actress in that series. And it is.
Here you go, Matt. If you've seen the newest episode of Lioness, the TNA, brother. The TNA.
It was pretty brutal, though. It wasn't like, enjoyable TNA.
Yeah.
I'm
not a big
Mobland's the other one. That's one.
See, I'm not a big mob movie guy. Like, I've never seen any of the like Godfathers. I'm not a mob. The Westies. I'm not a big mob fan of that.
But Westies is a little bit different because it mixes in. It mixes in like it's a storyline. It's almost like Titanic, right? How Titanic was a story that they marbled into reality, into truth. Well, they do the same thing here. It's this, it's kind of a not 100% true, but a lot of it is based off of facts. And it was during the, I can't remember, what were they building in the Westies? The Javits Center. So it's like how the mafia is involved with the Javits Center with the Irish, and then John Gotti characters in this one too. Yeah. It's J.K. Simmons is in it. He is just a great actor. But it's one of our favorite shows right now that we're watching. That Lioness,
Yeah, see, the problem I have with like the mob movies, I just thought like people glamorize the mob so much, and it's just like
There's nothing
they
glamorous about
there was
about
not.
what they do here with the mob life.
Yeah, like it's just like there's nothing honorable, nothing about the mob that anybody should ever look up to. Be
No.
like, oh, and it's just that it's we got friends. I got friends. I got connections in the mob. Then you should be ashamed of yourself if that's who your friends are. It's just but people clamor.
Especially it being set in the 80s. It's a very
That time
in the 80s. Cocaine was big. Heroin, it kind of gives you the reality of, okay, here's the mob boss who's making all the money, and then all of his workers, look at how they're living. And then also marbles in too a lot of what was going on in Ireland. Oh, Kevin's gone. There he is. It also goes into what was going on in Ireland, with the IRA and how the UK was freaking coming down and freaking torturing and murdering, some of the folks at the IRA. Really a very well done series. But I personally, I like mob movies, but I just don't like a mob movie to be a mob movie. I like it to be a good storyline to it.
Yeah, Matt says, what about Tulsa King? I've seen like clips of like a few dozen episodes. That actually looked like a good
Tulsa
from
King's
what I've seen.
Entertaining. Tulsa King's one of those shows that you watch and you're like, it's like Marshalls, right? You sit back and you're like, okay, I'm going to be entertained. There's going to be some really bad acting in some parts. There's going to be some action. There's going to be some ridiculous shit in here, but I'm going to be entertained. It's going to be a great series. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything serious.
I do like the Hell on Wheels. I like Old West type stuff. Because I like seeing like that because I never would have survived. Old West.
Oh yeah.
Like these guys are like they're and you see the same Clint Eastwood and you see how they're dressed and like they got a lot of clothes on all the time and it's like 100 and they're all working and they got long sleeves and a vest on and long wool pants and it's just like like this show there like there's mud and there's dirt and grime and it's just like God, I never would have fucking survived,
Oh my God, no.
The women with all of the clothes they're wearing and the dresses, and it's like, oh, they stunk.
Everybody smelled bad.
Everybody smells, and
yeah.
I definitely would have been a city man, like back then. I'd have been, I guess, a dandy is what they would have called me.
Kevin, you're a dandy.
Yeah, that's it. It definitely would have been a dandy. Wearing my weird shorts, in the 1800s.
There's, like, you'd be that freaking weirdo. Like, there's Kevin with one of his crazy inventions.
Look, I know. Yeah, riding my penny farthing bike with my shorts. Oh my
great.
God.
Well, Yellowstone is a great series, but what really got me was when they went back, Taylor Sheridan again, and did the 1885 series. Like, if you want like old Western, gritty, like, people were coming to this country, landing in the East, hoping that they would get guides who were former military, whatever, that would take them from the East across that dangerous freaking, Indian land and get them to the West. And what they had to endure and how many actually made it. 1885 was fantastic. And then 1923 was another one too, because that was that coming of age where, automobiles started.
That's the Industrial Revolution. Yeah.
Started replacing horses. And this was, out Montana area. So it was that time frame where downtown had a mixture of cars parked and horses tied up. houses were starting to get electricity put in them. So you were a bigwig if you had electricity put in. So those two series were just well done, and it really gives you that, like you said, that real life gritty. Listen, I love a lot of those old westerns, but they were always kind of the same cheesy. And then you got it really into more grittier westerns. Whenever you see something like Unforgiven, where it's like, God, that was really true to life, or Appaloosa or something like that. But if you like a good series, 1885 and 1923, I'd recommend watching them because it's real. Like back then, they were showing how the Indians would dip their arrows in manure, and then they freaking shoot you. So if you got it, then you had freaking shit, and you get an infection, you die. So even if they shot you and it wasn't a lethal blow, you'd eventually die.
Yeah, I like watching that, and I wish someone would do a show that went back even further. Everything's always like the mid to late 1800s, the Old West, we're venturing westward, building the railroads, displacing the Native Americans. But for me personally, I want to go back further because, like I said, my earliest ancestor, Cornelius Shahan, came over here in 1679. So I love, being able to see, because I watch these shows and it's like, he lived during this time. Well, actually, he didn't. I mean, he was dead by the time, he never saw a train. It's like you wonder what he would think. But I want to go back, like, the early 1800s, late like 1799 to like 1810, 1820s, when it was still, it was really rough.
When was the Guinness, that TV series about the Guinness? I think that was maybe 1800s, wasn't it? That was great. Was it?
Yeah, that was just and I was hoping they would do another season, but obviously I don't think we're going to see that. That was great. I loved watching that, because, obviously my Irish heritage, I love just seeing like just the times, of them, and just, like I said, once again, seeing these men and women, and it just always comes back to what they're wearing. It's just like, God, they're putting on a suit for everything. They used to play baseball, in like you see the golfers like in like a 3-piece wool suit, hitting their, the feathery, and it's just like, what are you doing? It's just so hot back then.
it is pretty comical when you do see how, even like early turn of the century, 1800s, 1900, early 1900s, just going to a baseball game, you weren't there in a freaking bikini and short shorts or a freaking tank top and freaking
you didn't take your shirt off, just trying to get on camera.
You're wearing you were wearing a freaking shirt, a tie. Women were dressed. It was hats were king back in the day, man. Everybody wore hats.
Everyone, you were the weirdo if you didn't wear a hat. There's that old photo, and it's like the guy they say is a time traveler, because he's got like sunglasses on and he's not wearing a hat, and it's just like in that old photo, it's like, it looks like, it looks like he's wearing a modern like sweater or something, but he's like the only guy not wearing a hat, like a sea of like 1,000 people. Everyone had a hat but this guy, and they're all like
sweater.
Like what's up with this weirdo? Doesn't have a top hat on.
So we just watched a movie, and I wanted to talk about this because this is actually pretty good. We just watched a movie that's been heavily promoted, from what I understand. And even Jen sent me an article where a guy's been living in a billboard out west somewhere, and the movie's called The Last House.
Yeah, it was. That guy just got fined or something for the movie studio for that stunt. But I didn't look it up. So what's it about?
It's I don't want to give it away, but
if you got like a synopsis of the
it's about a family living in their home, and then one day, as it's raining, they can't get out.
Oh, I did. I saw the preview of that for like on TikTok or something.
They
And
can't get
but
out.
it was everybody. There was like other
Right. And then they see everybody in the neighborhood can't get out of their home. Everyone is trapped in their home. The guy tries drilling everything, cannot get out. And it takes the story of their lives and how they, and it's kind of funny. Jen and I were sitting there, we're like, they go by 1 week, 3 weeks, and it's like 3 months, 5 months. And I'm like, dude, will we be able to survive in 3 months? Like, it's pretty crazy. But and then it goes on, and they're living this way for years. And then it gets into the reason why they're trapped in. It's a little bit of a sci-fi.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What streaming platform is that on?
I think it was Netflix. I'm not sure.
Oh, Netflix. Okay, The Last House, Jessica. We're gonna watch that.
I'm telling you, very, very good movie.
Was there a twist at the end? Was it an M. Night Shyamalan ending?
I don't think it was a real twist, but it was definitely something that I think that
it was revealed why they can't get out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It definitely revealed on the reason why they couldn't get out, and it kind of tied in, like I said, some sci-fi, some just I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah. I'm like you. Like I said, I wouldn't have made it back then. I sweat way too much. It was. I've been asked this on several podcasts and on other people's podcasts. If there's any time that you could have been alive other than this, when would you want to be alive? And I always say the same thing: the future, when the air conditioning is colder. Like we have figured out how to make things colder. That's what I want. Everything's clean. Everything's made of stainless steel, antimicrobial. Like that's my jam right there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. William should have been in medieval times. Being a modern blacksmith, don't pay the bills as quick.
No.
Yeah, no. You're definitely not like the King Dingaling nowadays, like the guy on the neighborhood. Oh, we gotta go see William. He's the make us some screws, or I need a dozen nails. Let him make me some nails. I think about that. Like when they're in Unforgiven, where Gene Hackman's building his house and he's hammering in the boards, and I'm like, there was a blacksmith that made those nails. Like they didn't come out of a machine. Like he forged the fucking nails that he's using and the hammer that he made or that he was using to, I
everything was made.
Yeah. William, I need a dozen 12-penny nails. If you could just whip those up for me next week.
Yeah. It's that is, that I remember that scene too, because freaking, you ought to hang your carpenter.
Yeah. So,
but Appaloosa is another good movie if you get a chance to watch it. That's got Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen in it, and Renee Zellweger. Another fantastic, movie that is from a Western that is still that gritty, like Unforgiven type.
Yeah, didn't Taylor Sheridan just kick Ed Harris off the his new show?
I don't know if he did or not. I know Ed Harris motherfucked him pretty much,
Oh yeah, and then he motherfucked him in an interview, and then Taylor Sheridan came back with the facts and said this was in his contract. Like everything he's saying is fucking wrong. He's being a bitch, wanted a bigger trailer, he wanted more screen time. He wanted this and that. And he goes, so Taylor Sheridan came, clapped back on that one. Like, he's like, I will never fucking work with Ed Harris, again. So, and I like Ed Harris.
So do I. And, he had an issue with the whole thing with Kevin Costner too, and I was like, say what you will. He's a great writer. Don't get me wrong. I think Taylor Sheridan writes some great stuff. I love Landman, but I think all of these shows that you're seeing now are the springing board was Yellowstone, and the reason why Yellowstone was so freaking pop is Kevin Costner brought people in to watch it.
Oh yeah, without Kevin Costner, people weren't. I don't without in a Landman without what's his name
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob. Would anybody have watched Landman? Probably, because it was a Taylor Sheridan show.
But he wouldn't have been able to get Billy Bob Thornton or anybody else on these shows
if he already didn't get
right.
So without Billy Bob, we probably still would have watched it, only because he'd set a track record of having great shows
100%
at that point. But Billy Bob just made that, made that show.
And it's great is, the writing on, like, when you see shows like that, like the writing is fantastic, but it's also the way that the actors deliver those lines.
Yeah, those diatribes. Yeah.
I mean, the freaking 100%, like the interaction, every character in that show. I mean, I remember him talking about, I saw an interview with Taylor Sheridan about how they got what's his face, Sam Elliott, to be on Landman.
Yeah.
And he's like, I couldn't believe when I talked to him. He was like, he is the most down to earth, nicest, humblest guy, and was just like, Reddit was like, yeah, I'd love to do this. This would be great. He's such a pleasure to work with. But you got to figure too that this guy, Taylor Sheridan, right, before Yellowstone, the only thing he had in his pocket at the time was he wrote Cicero, which was a really good movie. He wrote Hell or High Water, which was a really good movie. But again, and Wind River, which was a really good movie. Now, those three movies were really, really good. And Cicero, Day of Soldado was really good. But they ain't freaking Kevin Costner Yellowstone good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they were 2015, 2016, 2017, and then somewhere in all of that, they released 2018, Yellowstone came out. And then from that moment on, that's when he was able to write, 1883, 1923. The Mayor of Kingstown is awesome. That's a great show, too. That's got Jeremy Renner in it. After his accident, they're coming back for a final season. He wrote Landman, The Madison. Awesome. I didn't think I'd like it. I was very skeptical about Madison. Michelle Pfeiffer is brilliant in that series. But Jen and I just fell in love with that. It was awesome. Then he's got Lioness and Dutton Ranch, which was really good. That was really good too. Just a spinoff from Yellowstone. And Mars is a spinoff from Yellowstone. But it shows and Tulsa King, it shows like Landman, The Mayor of Kingston, those shows are freaking just. Mayor of Kingston is again another series. Kind of dives in a little bit into not necessarily the mob or mafia, but a network of guys who run things. And it doesn't glamorize it at all. I mean, it doesn't glorify it at all. It's so well done. Great actors in that too.
Yeah, William, he heard the cook was an actual pit master, and they pulled him into the role because he was already there feeding the crew. I watched the interview with him, and that's what it was. And he'd said there was some things because he was he's a pit master, but he was a real chef as well. And there were a couple of things that he had made that Kevin Costner would not eat. I think there was one with some squid or something, or it was something weird, and Kevin Costner would not eat it. And it was but yeah, he did. They just pulled him in and and made him part of the show.
Yeah.
So I'd never seen the show. I've seen 100 clips from dozens and dozens of episodes. So I feel like I understand the whole the whole point of the show, and it looked good. But by the time I see this stuff, I can't go in and backtrack, half a dozen seasons on something. I don't got that much time.
It's real good. But yeah, I mean, when we watched the Madison, we saw, Kurt Russell, and lives in a city, then goes out west, and they're
Yeah,
like,
you were telling me about that before. Yeah, he dies, but yeah,
we're watching a show, and we're like, what the frick, man? But Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's not in the Yellowstone. It's not part of the Yellowstone story, but apparently it's in that same universe, kind of like Yellowstone adjacent. And they're going to be coming out with another series of it. And I really hope that they're able to do the next season is going to be just as good as the first, because watching The Landman, after watching that first season, I was just like, fuck, wow, just wow. And then the second season, that just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to create another season. Luckily on Landman, they ended it. I'm content. Like if I don't get another season of Landman, I'm like, okay, I could see how, they could make a success of the family and rebuild the name and everything else.
Right.
And, I could come up with that, and I'm fine of never having another, but the show about, the Guinness, I forget what the name of the show was, I think it was the House of Guinness.
House of Guinness. Yeah,
House of Guinness, like that left too many questions at the end. Like, what happened? It was like, so yeah, Landman was, was pretty good.
Yeah, real good. I was a little disappointed this season. And so was Jennifer in House of Dragons.
Yeah.
House of Dragons was like House of Dragon, Draggin. It dragged. Dragged. One too many freaking speeches and shit. We just started the new season for Ted Lasso. They decided to come out with the new season of Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I've been reading that. It looked like a good show. I didn't get into. The House of the Dragon. What was that was a spinoff? What was the show?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. If anybody has never seen like the 3-part South Park episode, Game of Thrones, it was
God.
With Butters is like, you never showed dragons, and they always talk about the dragons, and then all I'm seeing is wieners. It's always wieners everywhere, it's like, and it's just no dragons, just wieners, and it was just a great 3-part.
It is pretty funny.
Back when South Park was funny, not what it is, now, but yeah.
Yeah, they and I'll tell you what, you like Stephen King. I told you before, this was a series that's kind of Stephen King-esque. The guy who wrote this, I think, is a Stephen King fan. Plus, there's a lot of Stephen King Easter eggs and references and homages throughout the series. And it's actually pretty funny for it being a little bit more of a horror. It's called Widow's Bay.
Yeah.
Widow's Bay is such a great series. We loved it. It was fun. It was kind of creepy and scary, but it was funny. And again, the guy who wrote it, and the people who are affiliated, you can definitely tell that there's a scene where there's a Stephen King book in a book of donations. There's references to Pennywise. There's references to The Mist. I mean, it's or The Fog. And The Mist. It's such a great, really a fun series to watch.
Yeah, they're redoing The Mist. They're redoing Cujo. I'm staring at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Stephen King books sitting on my shelf over there. And a friend of mine, we trade books all the time. So I'm hoping, that, now that I can go back to getting Sundays off, having a couple of days, I can get back into reading. It is what, August. I haven't read a single book this year.
Really?
Last year, I didn't read anything until like October. And I blitzed through like easily a dozen books at the end of the year just to get caught up on all my stories and all, everything else. But yeah, he gave me a stack of Stephen King books, like some trilogies that I've gotten into, some new books, and I'm still like 20 Stephen King books behind, because the man writes like there's fucking no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Another really good series that was based at. Have you ever seen the movie Cape Fear?
No, I know of it. I know the premise of the movie, but I haven't seen it.
They did a series, Cape Fear.
Yeah. Oh, did they? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's not like connected to Cape Fear. It's not a series of the movie Cape Fear. It's just their rendition of Cape Fear.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic. I mean, I was so sad when it ended, but just a really really good series, done really well. Um, I was just a we were big fans of that as well. I mean, that was just another,
Yeah.
just blew me away. So there's some really good series on there, but
Yeah, William, I hate reading because my ADHD. So when Jessica and I first started dating, she read a lot more than she does now, but she would be in the middle of 6 books at one time, and it was just like she's an e-reader and I'm not. I have to have a physical book in my hand. There's just something about having a book, turning a page, getting lost in that story. But she would have 6 books, and then she would read whatever, a couple chapters, and then like the next day she would just go to another book, and I'm like, it drive me insane. I'm like, I
can't do that.
I don't, no, I can't do that. But I get lost in a book. Like I said, I have, the world just shuts down like around me. I'm like, give me a good cigar. I throw some classical music on the TV or on the radio at a low level, and next thing I know, it'll be 3-4 hours later. And I've gotten better because at one time I wouldn't pick up a book unless I could dedicate the time to read it cover to cover, and I did that for years. And I would just, because I could count the pages, and I know how fast I can read, and I'm like, okay, I can finish this in 8 hours. I can finish this in 12 hours. And then I would start it if I had that time. And it would go, I could start a book at like 5 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, I'll be finished by 4 or 5 a.m. and then just shut the book. I remember years ago going golfing with my buddy Dugan, and I'd stayed up all night. I'm probably 10 hours into this book, and we're on our way to the golf course, and I'm reading. I've only got like a chapter to go. And I'm like, I got to finish this before we go. So luckily I got I got out of that habit, because that got a little out of hand.
Yeah, I tell you, I haven't. I mean, when right, my last couple of years in college, my first couple of years out of college, I read a lot. And then it's just like, but when I lived at the beach, we'd go down, we'd set up, and I worked at the renting out beach chairs and beach umbrellas. So we got down there, I'd set up my hot dog stand, freaking open up my doors, and I'd sit down, and I'd have like a good hour before people start coming. And I did a lot of reading on the beach. That's really was one of the most peaceful, I would say. You talk about things that are just very, very peaceful, like going to a cigar lounge and sitting down and having a cigar, where it's nice and quiet, real peaceful. That was some of the most peaceful moments that I've had ever, is sitting on the beach where there's no one else around, listening to the waves and reading a book.
Oh, I agree. As someone that grew up on the beach, many a day and evening, just sitting on the beach, listen to the waves crashing, just reading a book. Matt, after finding Audible, he likes listening. I can't, because I like making up the I can't. I tried once listening to a book, and I can't. I had a hard time creating the story in my head, because as I'm reading, like I get so lost in it. Like, I'm no longer reading a book. I'm reading a movie. So I have like this whole.
You got to create the whole thing, right?
I have to create the whole thing. I create the different characters, what they look like, how they sound. And I create this whole, this whole thing in my head, and then I couldn't do that listening, because then I just concentrated, on my phone, of just looking at my phone versus just listening. And I had a hard time creating that story.
Well, now with, phones and freaking Bluetooth and all that stuff, I mean, you could get anything. But I used to get a lot of when I first started driving in pharmaceuticals. When I got out of college, I worked at Enterprise Rent a Car, and then I got into pharmaceuticals, and I had areas that were pretty big and a lot of drive time. And I used to get a lot of books on CD, because that was before you could. That was before what are you going to do? Freaking pull up a podcast on your Nokia. It fucking happen.
Exactly. I'd be afraid of getting in an accident, of getting so lost in a story I forget I was driving. And
Yeah, but it's. I mean, yeah, I did. I went through about a year and a half phase of that, of different books, John Saul books, a couple other writers, some sci-fi stuff, and really enjoyed it. But I wanted to ask you, Kevin. We both saw Project Hail Mary, which was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I thought the ending was a little, okay, got it. A little too happy for me, realistically. Disclosure Day. Are you going to rent it?
I watched it already.
Oh, you did? I didn't know you did.
I paid for it. Yeah.
And your thoughts? I haven't seen it yet, so no spoiler alert.
There's nothing new.
Just basically Arrival, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
No. Disclosure Day. No, I thought you meant
Spielberg.
No, I thought Age of Disclosure was
no,
the last
yeah,
one.
I've seen that too. That was
yeah. That's the one we saw was Age of Disclosure,
and it was
there was nothing new that we learned on that one.
The only thing I liked about that is that they put it all together in a timeline, and that's the only thing I liked about Age of Disclosure. But other than that, I was like, there's nothing new. We knew all this shit.
No, Disclosure Day. It was
Steven Spielberg.
I'll watch it, but the ending is what everybody says. It just like they don't disclose it. Like the ending is the beginning of another story, which they're not going to write. So there was no disclosure, I guess. People are real disappointed in it, but it's Steven Spielberg, so I got to watch it. Is it out for on the platforms yet?
It is.
Is it? Okay.
It is. One of those things where I'm like, it's $19.99 now. Do I just want to wait for it to drop? There's some movies that
I won't. I won't pay $19.99. I mean, even though I know that it's still cheaper than going out to a movie, but usually I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait a few months when it's $4.99 or $5.99, and then I'll get it.
Yeah, I took Wyatt and I went to go see the new Spider-Man movie. Brand New Day, fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I know you're not a superhero guy, but anybody who's a superhero or a Marvel Comics moviegoer and series watcher, Marvel's had a couple of dogs here and there between the movies and the series that they've tried to push through. This was one of the better, probably in my top 5 Marvel movies. It was done well, really good. Big fan.
Yeah, it just seemed like out of all of them, they've done more Spider-Mans than anything else.
Spider-Man is still owned by Sony, so they always got to do that. Like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. Back in the day, that's when Stan Lee, when they were selling off the rights to some of these things.
Yeah.
X-Men. You got to make some money. Now, what they're trying to do is bring everything together. So now, Fantastic Four movie was awesome. It was fantastic. The movie before it sucked terribly bad.
Because for a while, for a while the rule was they had to produce a movie every 2 years or they lost the rights to it.
Right.
So if they didn't make one every 2 years, they lost the rights and it went back. They reverted the rights back. So they had to keep pumping out these movies in order to keep the rights to keep making the movies. So
and characters that are related to those folks. So, like for example, Spider-Man, when they made the movie Morbius that Jared Leto played in, Morbius was a character in the Spider-Man comics. He was a doctor who turned into a vampire. That was make it, like you said, that's part of the deal. Craven, I think they said Craven the Hunter which I thought was a great movie. It got bad reviews. I thought it was fantastic. But Craven was, I think they said, the last movie that's going to be done that's part of that whole Spider-Man universe. But they're starting to learn now that, if you really want to have, I think, in my opinion, a good movie and one that's going to be interconnected with the Marvel story, is that Sony, TriStar, whoever these owners are, they got to start, collaborating. And they started collaborating with Marvel, and they started doing it together. And that's the reason why you're seeing X-Men being brought back into these Marvel movies, where before you could even mention it. It was like you couldn't say jack shit about the X-Men, or you couldn't say jack shit about Spider-Man. But now that they're starting to bring them back in, now you're starting to see this collaboration. I think that these sections of Marvel comics that were sold off starting to come back, and they're producing some really, really good stuff. They are. I mean, that was a really good movie. I mean, I loved it. Thought it was fantastic. I don't go to the movies often. When I do, it's usually with Wyatt to watch something like this.
Yeah.
We went to go see the Fantastic Four in the movie theater. I do like seeing it on a big screen, because I got to deal with all the idiots around me.
I know.
So that's always a tough one. And usually, I try and pick like a time. Like it's like, hey, Wyatt, it was released on Thursday. Let's go see it next weekend, not this upcoming weekend. And we'll go like the 10 o'clock show, the 9 or 11 o'clock show.
I do like an 11. I like the 11 o'clock show, like on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to do it on weekends. But what's funny is it was released, I think, Thursday or Friday or something like that. And we went to go see it Saturday. I'm like, I'll do the 11 o'clock or 10:35 show. I'm like, it's 10:35. It's fucking packed, but still well done. And it's they did a pretty good job. They did a really good job on that movie. But I am going back and forth on when we're going to rent Disclosure Day. I'm definitely gonna rent that. Definitely got to see that. Definitely got to. Not sold on it though, 100%.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna watch it.
I heard a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it either way. So I gotta see it. So I think I'm gonna go and maybe this weekend. I'm gonna watch The Jerk again. I haven't seen The Jerk in forever, so I gotta watch. I'm gonna get Jessica to watch that. So
what was funny is when I looked it up. It was the three things was don't trust Whitey, the Lord loves a working man, and don't trust Whitey.
Yeah.
And then it was then I think his brother said, don't trust Whitey, the Lord loves a working man, and if you catch it, go to doctor, he'll get rid of it.
That's what yeah. Oh, that was great. So,
honey, I when I looked up real quick, I was looking through and I just looking at the quotes kind of takes me back, and I remember the movie then, right? Because it's been a while.
Yeah.
But it was like when he's talking to his mom, she's like, "I think you're at the age right now. I got to tell you, you're not one of our natural children. You've been adopted."
Yeah.
You mean I'm going to stay this color my whole life?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it.
Oh,
so, all right, so we're going to leave it with "Don't Trust Whitey." I want to thank everybody for coming on, spending a couple hours your Monday night with us. We're off for the next 2 weeks. I'm on vacation, so we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We'll talk about my whether I got nosebleeds or how I fared in the in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, I don't get some messages going, Kerr, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Freaking Jessica and I freaking walked down the street. I had to stop and take a breath. I had to stop and sit on a bench. So I'm excited. I've never been west of the Mississippi. Well, actually, I was in New Orleans. So I've never been. New Orleans is the farthest west I've been. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Rockies. You got to do the Dumb and Dumber. I thought the Rockies would be rockier. Yeah, that's it. So all right, everybody. We'll see everybody back here in a couple of weeks.